Let me just stay here. So for single people, you need to get it right. So there are 3 things you need to know if you're a single person. Number 1, if you're going to get it right in marriage, you have to first start by being the right person. If you're sitting by a single person, tell them you have to be the right person. Every time I think about the story of Adam and Eve, Adam saw Eve and said, this is now bone of my bones. This woman was taken from me. This thing came out of me. I ask all the time, single people, when they want to get married, I ask them, if they decide to take something from you to make your partner, will it be something you like? You know your character. Tell yourself the truth. You know you have bad behavior. You know. All those lying, cheating, sleeping around. Imagine, guys, that they took out of you to make that kind of girl that sleeps around with everything. So for you to find the right person, you have to first be the right person. When single people come to me for counseling, first assignment I give them, when we're doing a clarity session or something, first assignment I give them, tell them to drop a list of what you want from your partner. Take a sheet of paper. If you've never done it before, maybe when you get home, think about doing it, whether you're male or female, okay? Take a sheet of paper, a long sheet of paper, and write on top of that sheet of paper the header, my future spouse. Then, start to write all the things you want. Make it a long list. I want them to be kind. I want them to be rich. I want them to be tall. I want them to be hardworking. I want them to be intelligent. I want them to be funny. Write everything you want on that list. When you are done, you're satisfied with that list, I want you to strike off whatever you wrote at the top of that list and write your name there. And ask yourself, if you are the kind of person that you wrote down on that list. Secondly, I need you to ask yourself if the kind of person you want will want you. So it starts from being the right person. You can wish all you want, but you will attract somebody who has similar values like you. God is not going to go out far. It said from Adam, he took from within Adam to make. So if we're really saying that your rib is out there, is your rib really what you want? If it's not, then you need to do something about it. Number 2, you need to choose the right person. You can be the right person, but if you choose the right person, you're going to be in big trouble. If you choose the wrong person, you're going to be in big trouble. How did I learn this? Let me tell you. So, when I was much younger, I was the child who always had my head in a book. I always liked to read. I was always reading. And that meant that everything I was either cooking or frying or whatever would get burnt. So my mom was insistent that I would spend time in the kitchen. And I thank God because today I love cooking. So one day, you know, there's a way to fry an omelette. There's a proper way if it's a multiple egg omelette. And so my mom always wanted us to do things by the book. So she would say, if I tell you to fry 4 eggs, I need you to get 2 plates, break each individual egg, check its freshness, then you add it into the bowl where the others are, and then before you whisk and you start frying. And that's the right way to do it, right? But because I wanted to go back to what I was doing, so one day she just called me, I need you to come and fry an egg. I was like, okay. So I just thought about it. Why should I have 2 dishes? That means I wash 2 dishes. That means this is stressful. I just break everything into one and just fry the egg. And I thought, nobody thought about this. I'm very smart. So I brought one dish out, broke the first egg, perfect. Broke the second one in, perfect. Broke the third one in, perfect. Broke the 4th one. It was rotten. What did you do? It spoils the rest of the egg. So I had it bad. I couldn't make that omelette because it would have turned out to be a bad omelette. It's the same thing in marriage. It takes 2 good people, 2 godly people to have a godly marriage. So no matter how good you are, no matter how loving you are, no matter how kind you are, you cannot go out there and pick just anyone. You still have to pick someone who has the same values as you do. Because if not, you are still going to end up with a bad marriage. And let me tell you, marriage takes 2 people. Marriage is too heavy for one person to carry. It takes 2 willing partners, 2 people that are interested, 2 people that are invested to make a marriage work. I've sat down in counseling rooms, and I feel my heart is broken for women when they come in, especially women, because men can find comfort in work. Women, we find comfort in family. We're created that way. We're the ones that are interested. I was having a conversation with Pastor Kate today as we're coming out about someone who he had a child with special needs. And the man just abandoned the child. And so I was saying to him, how do you abandon your own child? Because he was like, I don't understand. Why would he be interested? The child has his problem now. So why you think? And I just felt to myself, why do men think like that? They can just detach from anything that isn't working. And it's the way their mind is created, right? They have to focus on something. And if I'm going to focus on something, might as well be on something that is working. Okay? Makes sense to them, but doesn't make sense to a woman. How do you abandon your child? What do you mean by it's not working? So you move on to something else. But that's just how men are. So they sit in counseling rooms with me, and I see women, okay, and the women are saying, oh, my husband doesn't love me, my husband doesn't do this, we're trying to make it work, and the woman just goes on, and the man has this blank look, like he wants to be somewhere else. And then I'm saying, are you not interested in this? And the man is like, but I'm here. He's there, but he's not there, right? Even when I talk to some people, because I'm an infidelity recovery specialist, so I sit with people who are going through infidelity, and we're trying to work on it. And there's this particular couple that walked in, and those people I find very fascinating till tomorrow. And they're sitting down, and the woman goes on and on about how the man cheated, what he did, and all the things. She's just telling me all the stories, and she's crying and everything. And I said to the man, your wife is crying. Do you see what this is causing her? And the man goes, but I didn't cheat on her disrespectfully. That was the first time I heard that there's disrespectful cheating. I didn't know there was disrespectful. He said, I've never brought any of the women home. I could have. I'm like, are you kidding me? So is that validating? He said, no, but I'm still better. He started listing his neighbors. I'm still better than Mr. So-and-so who brought it. Mr. And so I asked her, were there signs? And she said yes. She was always the girl who was fighting other girls off him. So the thing is, she thought he would change. Marriage doesn't change anybody. You need to get it right from the start. Every time I tell people, see, marriage won't change. A lizard will not turn to a crocodile in marriage. It will just be a married lizard. So once someone has shown you their true colors or shown you who they are, believe them. Don't say, oh, I'm going to change him, or he hasn't met a girl like me. Famous last words. So the first thing, single people, is to be the right person. The second thing is to choose the right person, okay? You can either marry a prayer partner or you can marry a prayer point. It's up to you. You make that decision, okay? In fact, men, let me leave it because I didn't come for the men today. The third thing is you need to do the right thing. Choosing the right person, being the right person is not enough. You have to keep doing the right things in marriage if your marriage is going to work. Ask married people. The real quarrel most married people have is the fact that the things they used to do before, they're not doing it anymore. The things they used to enjoy before, they're not enjoying it anymore. And married people, this is something you need to learn. I hear men complain, oh, my wife is not the same. She's not the same because the things you did to get her, you're not doing them anymore. So she has become a different person. If anything, you change her. You used to call her every 5 minutes when you were, and don't start what you can't finish, right? Don't tell her, oh, I'm sending you flowers just because it's Thursday. And then she gets married. She doesn't even get flowers on her anniversary. She doesn't get flowers on her birthday. So men complain a lot about, oh, my wife has changed. She's changed because you stopped giving her that kind of attention, that kind of affection. So for single people, you have to also count the cost. When I get married, am I going to be able to do this? Listen, ladies. Don't just marry a man because he's looking for a wife or because he wants to get married. Marry a man who's also ready to be a husband. Because some people are just looking for wives and thinking about, I see men are transactional. It's not even a bad thing. It's just that women need to be smarter. Men are transactional when it comes to marriage. A man will never marry a woman just because he loves her. I've never heard it. Why do you marry this one? Because I love her. It's a lie. It's only women that say those things. Or when he walked into the room, I couldn't breathe. Or butterflies in my tummy. All those things that we say that don't make any sense. Men don't do that. Why is he married now? Because she's smart. Or because she's beautiful. My friends will be jealous. Or because she has a good job. Or her father is rich. Someone once said to me, a guy, he said, if my father is poor, it's not my fault. If my father-in-law is poor, it's my fault. Men are that transactional. I'm telling you straight up. Men are transactional. So as a woman, you need to be smart. And that's why we say, have counsel. Because in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. So it's not about, oh, the guy's telling you, oh, no, I don't want anybody in my business. You know, it's just me and you, baby. I don't want anybody else. He has like 16 other girls he's telling that thing. If the guy has nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be afraid if your pastor knows about it. Shouldn't be afraid of that. Whether you clap or not, it's true. And so it's important that you also understand that when it comes to marriage, the person that goes with you affects the outcome of your marriage. I've said that before, but I want to reiterate it again because, you see, there are challenges that will come in marriage. Not necessarily challenges that should destroy you. You know, I always tell people that it's not really the challenge that comes at the marriage. It's what the marriage is made of that makes the marriage survive or not. So it's not necessarily infidelity. People overcome infidelity. It's not insufficient funds. It's not interference from in-laws. People overcome all those things. It's what you guys are made up of that affects the marriage. Okay? So it depends on what you are deciding to build. That's who determines who goes with you. And the Bible says that two cannot walk together except they be agreed. If someone is not going in your direction, why do you want to be with the person? So you first have to know your purpose for life before you get a partner for life. You first have to understand, is this person going in my direction? If the person is not going in the direction, then why are you with that? You know, a lot of times I see people marry just based on emotions. And it's a problem because today I see pastors' wives being married to businessmen. Let me explain. Now, for a pastor, I'm just using this as an example, of course. For a pastor can spend, in fact, I can guarantee you that Pastor Steve and Pastor Neka spent a lot of money to put this together, a lot of resources. And if after this meeting, only 2 people give their lives to Christ, that is a lot of value for them. That's profit, okay? But if it's a businessman's wife, right? Dr. Neka will be very happy. Oh, 2 people got saved, they will get home together, they will rejoice, they will pray, they will be happy. But if she were a businessman's wife, she will sit down and look at it in terms of profit and loss. She will be thinking about offering. She will be thinking about why are we giving all we have? Why are we sowing? What about our children? She will not be willing to make those sacrifices. So I see a lot of miserable pastors because they married someone who wasn't right for them. The woman is not necessarily bad. She's just not right for you. That woman given to an entrepreneur would be amazing. So it has to be the right fit. And so you see that every time an animal was made, it was taken to Adam. And then God said, this one is just not right. It doesn't mean that they killed the animal. We still have lions today. We still have elephants. But I'm sure that when Adam looked at the elephant and said, how will I kiss this one? No, this one is not for me. Even the monkey said, this one looks like me, but it's not just quite the fit. And so where you are going determines who goes with you. So it's not just about emotions. It's not just about how I feel. And let me share with you, married people, a few things. Because of time. I was going to share a lot more with single people, but single people, you have had enough, Nabi. Okay, let me give you a few more truths. I'll just run them so that you guys will not say I didn't do anything for you. Single people.